All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on some powerful and, yeah, kind of uncomfortable ideas about what success really is. We're going to break down 16 truths that challenge pretty much everything you've been told about how to get ahead. This quote right here sets the perfect tone. The whole point of this is to come at it with a totally open mind. It's time to challenge our own beliefs and take a hard look at the advice we've been fed our whole lives. Think about it. From the time you were a kid, you were getting advice from your parents, your teachers, the media, everyone. And look, they probably meant well. But some would argue that this traditional playbook isn't really about making you financially free. It's about keeping you on a very specific, conventional path. So let's start picking that apart. First up, let's talk about the big one, money. We're going to dive into how some of the most common beliefs about wealth are actually more like a trap, designed to keep you from ever really building it. I mean, you've heard this a million times, right? Your parents told you, their parents told them, buy a house. It's your biggest asset. But is that actually true? Let's dig in. So here is the absolute game changer. An asset? It puts money into your pocket. A liability? It takes money out. It's that simple. So if your home is costing you every single month, mortgage, taxes, repairs, you name it, and it's not generating any income for you, well, from this point of view, it's not an asset, it's a liability. And that just flows right into this next idea. You're told to save every penny, cut coupons, worry about every tiny little expense. But listen, nobody ever became a millionaire by skipping a $5 latte. The wealthy, they don't sweat the small stuff. They put all of their energy, all their focus into one thing, making their income bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so society has made debt this big, scary monster under the bed, right? We're taught to just run away from it, avoid it completely. But according to this perspective, they left out the most important part of the lesson. And here it is, the big distinction. Bad debt, that's when you borrow for things that just lose value. A new phone, a fancy car the second you drive it off the lot. But good debt? Oh, that's a whole different ballgame. That's using other people's money, using leverage to buy things that actually make you money, like a business or an income-producing property. It's a tool the wealthy apparently use all the time. So how does all this money stuff connect to what we're taught about our careers, about school, and just plain old hard work? Let's get into the work delusion. This is probably the first big lie we all bought into. The hard truth is, the education system is, well, it's pretty outdated. It pushes you to take on a mountain of debt for a piece of paper that, a lot of the times, has absolutely no connection to what jobs are actually paying in the real world. That guarantee, it's just not there anymore. Man, society just loves to praise backbreaking work, doesn't it? But here's the thing. How much you make has almost nothing to do with how much you sweat. It has everything to do with how big of a problem you can solve and how much leverage you can use to solve it. This is such a perfect way to see it. You got the miner putting in extreme physical work for a tiny fraction of what a broker makes. And what's the difference? It's leverage. The broker makes decisions that affect millions of dollars at a time. The miner's effort, as intense as it is, has a much smaller scale. The takeaway here is that your income is tied to the scale of your impact, not the strain on your body. School teaches us that you have to be perfect, get 100 on every test. But the real world, it doesn't work that way. There's this thing called the 80-20 rule, the idea that you get 80% of your results from just 20% of your effort. The focus shifts from getting perfect test scores to building skills that actually matter out in the wild. Believing that a salary is security. Oh man, that might be the most dangerous trap of them all. The absolute core belief for building wealth is the complete opposite of what we're taught. You never work for money. You make money work for you. You do that by building businesses, creating systems, and setting up passive income streams that pay you while you sleep. Which brings us to, honestly, the most important battleground of all, your own mind. The argument is that the biggest things holding you back aren't out there. They're the psychological traps we set for ourselves. These ideas, money is evil, ambition is greed, they're like mental cages we lock ourselves in. The counterargument is that money's just a tool, it's neutral. And real wealth, true success, has to include your health. What's the point of having it all if you sacrifice your well-being to get there? And then there's the trap of just waiting. We sit around hoping for that overnight success, waiting for the perfect moment to finally start. We massively overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we totally underestimate what we can build in 10. The world doesn't pay you for being motivated. It pays you for being disciplined, for showing up and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. So, after peeling back all these layers, all these deceptions about money, about work, about our own minds, we get to the big one, the one lie that holds all the other lies together. That's it. That is the ultimate lie society sells us. The idea that the smart thing to do is to just play it safe, to shrink yourself down, to fit in, and not make any waves. And I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Because when you look back on your life, your biggest regret, your biggest demon, it's not going to be the failures you had when you took a risk. No, it's going to be the absolute soul-crushing torture of knowing you had the chance to risk something big, to do something grand, and you didn't. You played it safe. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it?